Do you find yourself stuck in a hard place and you constantly feel like people are constantly calling you to make payments? You're avoiding phone calls. You don't know what to do because you feel like you are stuck in your finances. Well, today, I want to share with you some important steps that you can take to be able to handle those tough calls when they come. And not only that, for you to be able to make them first. So if you're ready, let's go.
The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone.
Hi, everyone. It's Sophia Melone, the Debt Demolisher, here to bring you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you manage your financial baggage the right way. I'm so glad that you're here for another episode of the Debt Demolisher TV. And today we are going to be talking about communication. And why are we going to be talking about communication? Because communication is the most important element that you need to have if you are in a space of financial hardship or if you are in a space of financial distress. You have to be willing to put your feet to the fire and communicate first. If you want to be able to have the upper hand, if you want to be able to negotiate effectively over the financial situation that you're in with the creditors that you've obliged yourself to, well, here are some tactics and some tips that's going to help you get your communication game on point. Now, if you haven't noticed this yet, just based on the first minute or so of this video, the major thing and the major idea that I pointed out is that communication should start from you. If you want to have the upper hand, you have to have the guts, you have to have the balls, you have to have the wherewithal to make the call first. In this space, we are not going to be running from what we essentially put ourselves into. It's time for us to face our situation, face our decisions, and not only that, get into a space where we can be in a place of empowerment. Because when we run, that shows that we are showing evidence of a sign of weakness. And we all know that where there is weakness, there is defeat. And if you don't want to be defeated in your financial journey, if you don't want to succumb to the financial situation that you are in, I need you to step up and step out. I need you to get bold and get bigger. I need you to take these tools and to take this lesson that I'm getting ready to deliver to you today and put them into use so that you can pick up this phone and get to work. Now, what does it take for you to be able to reach out first? Now, here is what I want you to make sure that you always do before you jump the gun. Prepare. Preparation is the foundation for the success of any and everything. So if you know that you are ready to fight this fight, if you know that you are ready to regain your strength, if you know that you're ready to come in fighting so that you can get your financial life back, the first thing you have to do is to lay out your game plan. So what does it take for you to be ready? What does it take for you to make the first start? I'm going to break this down in 4 easy elements for you. And guess what the acronym is? It's not FICO, it's RICO. And I mentioned FICO because I know that this element, and if you are in this space, if you are feeling in the same manner in which I've expressed in the beginning of this video, then I know that that means that your credit score is not in the place where you would actually like it to be. Because if you are in a space where you're running from creditors, if you're in a space where you're not communicating with creditors, if you're in a space where they're calling you constantly about making payments, then that means you probably have some derogatory items on your credit report. And now what I want to do to help you regain control, not only over your finances, but also over regaining and rebuilding your credit, we're going to start with the communication piece, which is going to break down into these 4 elements of how you can position yourself so that you can reach out first. So when you reach out first, you're going to reach out first using my personally designed RICO model. And what RICO model stands for is RICO. Now you may be wondering, okay, what do each of these elements mean? Don't worry, because I'm getting ready to break it down. The first one is the R. Before you go into any situation, before you pick up the phone and begin to contact your creditors first, you want to be very clear that you will be fully aware to state your reason why you cannot pay at this time. You have to be very clear and very adamant about what your reason will be. Because when you get on the phone with these creditors and when you get on the phone with these lenders, they are designed to get the money that they need to get out of you. But listen, they are willing to work with you, especially if you're not making them chase you down. If you come forward, if you turn yourself in, so to speak, if you come to the table, if you come to the conversation with your RICO elements ready, you are going to be ready to put yourself in a powerful negotiated position. So know what your reason is. Begin to ask yourself a series of questions. Why is it that I can't pay? And then when you're answering these questions for yourself and you're writing out your responses, I want you to look for the rationale in your responses. Does this seem negligent? Does this seem like it's irrational? Does this seem like this reason won't hold up in court? Because these are the types of skepticism that we need to have with our own responses. If someone said that to me, how would I receive it? What questions would I ask if someone was telling me their story if they owed me some money? How would you evaluate their response to you? How would you evaluate their reason that they're giving you for not paying you something that they said that they were going to pay you back? So you have to put yourself in the lender's shoes. What is it that you would like to hear? What is it that you would like to know? What is it that you would like to be able to see? First of all, acknowledgement that you owe me something and you're not running from me. Second of all, you want to know why. And you want to hear a valid reason as to why. So before you jump in and you go and call these creditors and you want to make the tough conversations and you want to face these tough calls, which is amazing, go in prepared. Go in prepared by knowing what your reason is and then asking yourself, is this even a justifiable reason? Does it sound like a justifiable reason? Evaluate it. So that is your R. Be ready to state your reason. And not only that, be ready to test the rationale behind your reason to see if it's even going to make sense. The next element in RICO is the I, and the I is for income. So you want to be able to clearly state what your current income levels are, as well as your prospective income. Not only do they want to know what you are receiving in terms of income right now, but what could be some income that's coming down the pipeline? What can be some other resources or assets that you may have coming? Do you have some other side hustles? Do you have another job lined up? Do you have some inheritance that's coming? Do you have some type of repayment that's going to be coming to you, refund check, anything along those lines? Be ready to list out all of your income sources. Be ready to come prepared with how much you make per month, per week, per hour. You have to be willing to state your case. State your case. So when you're ready to jump into these conversations and you're ready to have these communications with these lenders and with your creditors, the people who you actually owe, state your income, state your prospective income, be prepared to share that information in case it is asked. The third element of my RICO method is C, and the C stands for current obligations. And so what you have to make sure that you are fully aware of is what are the things that you owe right now? What is everything on your plate right now? What are your current expenses, your current obligations, your current responsibilities, in addition to what it is that you owe them? Lay out everything that you owe. I have to tell you guys this. I had a client who I was working with, and this was maybe a couple of years ago. I was working with her and she had some issues related to her student loans and they were pretty much in default. So what happened in this situation, I challenged her to do the same thing, to reach out and let the companies know what was going on and if they could work out something with her. Negotiation. Okay. So in the middle of her speaking to the representative was asking her all of these questions. What I've pretty much outlined so far in my RICO method. How much income are you making? What are your expenses? What is your current current situation? What current challenges or hurdles are you facing? Communication. And because she was able to articulate it, because she already knew the information, because we had been working on this, because we had been going over the numbers, because she had been speaking to me about everything that was going on, when she was asked by the representative, she was able to spit it out like that. And because she was so fluent, because she was on top of it, because she was able to list every single expense that she had down to the dollar amount, she was able to list every single income source that she was able to receive. Because of that conversation, that's all that it took, that it got her student loans out of default, with her only making like a $5 or $10 payment a month. Come on, somebody. Because when you know your stuff, and when you know what you have and you come forth to the table and you say, hey, this is my situation, can you help me? If you show that you're prepared, if you show that you have your things in order, if you show that you're exercising diligence, they will more than likely be willing to do something for you. Be willing to do something for you. So the reason why I'm sharing this RICO method with you is so that you can be in a position to be trained to go, and not only be trained to go, but be trained to be put in a space where you can negotiate, where it can work for your betterment. Your betterment. Now for the last element of my RICO method, that is the O. And the O stands for your options. What options have you considered? What plan have you thought of? What are some things that you are trying to figure out in order to get yourself out of this situation where it can be favorable on all aspects, on all ends as much as possible? So when you're speaking to a creditor, when you're speaking to a lender, they're going to want to know, what are your current plans? What options are you trying to give them so that they can work with you and then give you options as well on the other side? So you have to be ready and willing to state what your plans are to get yourself out of the situation that you're in. State your plans on what you believe your options are, how you can work with what you have, and then ask the lenders and the creditors for a little bit of favor to come in and help you meet you where you are, because they are more than willing to do that. So as long as you are prepared, as long as you come to the table like, boom, I have my stuff, I know what I need, I know where I am, I know where I'm trying to go, this is where I am, what can you do for me? Listen, although these creditors and these banking institutions are lenders, they are also customer service, because without you, they would not be able to operate in the manner in which they do. So at the end of the day, they need you. At the end of the day, you probably needed them by them giving you the money or them giving you whatever it was that you needed at that point in time. But now they need you, because they need to be able to recoup what it was that they lent to you at the terms in which you agreed to repay it. And sometimes you can be able to work it out and you can negotiate it a little bit lower, as long as you have your RICO elements in place. So as a healthy reminder, if you want to position yourself to make the tough calls, and if you want to position yourself to reach out first so that you can have the upper hand in the negotiation stage, get your RICO elements together. Remember the R, reason. Have your reason ready. Know exactly why you are calling and why you are in the situation in which you are in and why you are having difficulties being able to pay. State your reason and don't be afraid to be transparent about it. Don't be afraid to be transparent about it. Be ready to state your reason. And not only that, be ready to assess and look at the rationale behind your reason to see if it even makes sense. Number 2, the I, income. Make sure that you are able to state all of your income sources and all of your prospective income sources. Where do you project or where do you anticipate being able to receive additional income down the line? Tax refunds, side income, any other source of income that may be coming in. Be ready and willing to share all of that. Next thing is your C, your current obligations. Be ready and willing to state all of your expenses, all of your obligations, everything that you have to pay, so that they can fully understand what's on your plate. And that way they can see how they can work with you. If they know what's on your plate, they know how much income that you have, and then they know the reason why you're in the situation that you're in. And then last but not least, you want to get that O in order, which is your options. You got to be ready to state your options. You got to be ready to state your outlook. You got to be ready to state your plans on how you wish to get yourself out of the situation that you are in, to see how it can be a win-win situation for everybody involved to the best extent possible. There you have it. I've given you my RICO method to help you get into the space where you can make those tough calls and have those tough conversations with the creditors and with the lenders if you are in a space where you feel like you're just running from them. Because we're here to do the work. Here on this channel, I'm here to help position you to win in your finances. And that's even if you're in a space right now where it's not the best. We're here to get you to the other side, believe it or not. So go ahead, test out, prepare yourself, get your personal script developed based on the RICO method that I just laid out to you. Trademarked and copyrighted by Sophia Melone. Come on, somebody. Get your RICO method. I want to hear what was your greatest takeaway, what was your greatest revelation as a result of this video on today. And let me know once you've got your RICO script done. I want to hear it. You may not want to tell me, but you can just tell me that you got it done. And then if you get it done, I want you to test it. And then when you test it, I want you to tell me what the outcome was. All right. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember that your financial prosperity awaits you, and so does your financial sanity. Come back tomorrow for some more gems. All right. Bye.
The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia